I am eating dinosaur chicken nuggets. So tell me what you're eating and let's get started. This is a personal list of my favorite K-pop songs of 2020. This list is just for songs, not comebacks with music videos and albums and all that, just the 20 songs that I loved best this year. As always, this is just my list, and it costs $0.00 to make your own list. Let's go.
I see you. We should focus on the love, love, love. I see you. I'm a singing Mago, love, love.
Let's start off with none other than Moon Dance. This is a very simple song, very open-hearted, yet the little details here and there in the melody and the performance pull it away from the pack in my mind. The smoke over the water sound in the production largely lets his singing carry the melody, and that's what I like to hear from Woong. Where this chorus could be very lackluster, the combination of Woong's hook and the rolling background give it this unique flavor I really enjoy. It's moody and very tempered, and such a sweet earworm that I think there's a spot for it on any romance playlist. This is probably my favorite girl crush song of theirs since Whistle. Pretty Savage proves that Blackpink's debut style can absolutely find new creative alleyways it put to the task. Lisa's glass-cut opening verse sets the perfect contrast for Jennie's smooth, cold slide in that muted tone somewhere between rapping and vocalizing. Jennie's first couple of lines in this song aren't just my favorite part of the song, they're my favorite lines in the album. Rosé delivers a wavering up-down lilt in the bridge that teases the more playful baby doll sound of Blackpink's B-sides. Jisoo quite literally said, "Bow down and become the carpet, and I better see you all follow suit at our wedding." What makes this song so great is the attention to little details, the purr that sets off the bass, the knives under Jennie's repetition, the falling elevator of voices behind the chorus and the lead-out. Giving Rosé's pre-chorus a set of acoustics that mimics her range is absolutely genius, and you can't ignore the way each verse gets a slightly different configuration. Every member gets her own unique flavor, which is what I love about this song.
That's a no-no.
Love this song, love this album. I have no idea what the hell is going on, but it's an absolute jam. That's a No-No was kind of an unexpected find. I wasn't ready to enjoy this as much as I do, but it's one of my B-sides of the year. This song is on my K-pop but you're in a gay volleyball anime playlist because it has that energy to it. It's brassy and bold and in your face, and Leah says, "Sorry, I beg your pardon," in just the right way. It's quite a brash song, and it reminds me of all my favorite parts of Get Loud, one of my favorite Twice songs of all time. Itzy never failed to be fun and bold and original this year, and I have to hold my hat out to them. They never lost their smile or their step. I hate including Ateez in these end-of-the-year countdowns because that means I have to pick a favorite part of an Ateez song, which is impossible. Ateez songs are built on progression, 1,000 small, moving parts that build on each other and leave you breathless by the end of it. How does a song with so many teeth still strike a deeply emotional tone? Ateez loves a song that continues to unfold, which is why we get these gorgeous extended choruses and pre-choruses, each with their own character and style. Where most songs would put instrumental melody right at the front, Ateez combines the most theatrical moments with the most emotional. You can hear the concrete in every measure. Their music is never satisfied with fulfilling expectations. They push and push and push until they break stratosphere. Answer gives me power and hope, and that meant a lot to me this year. I think Agust's only real competition is himself. His music is good, bottom line. The dynamic stuff he cooks up when he's not doing group work always delivers in lyrics, music, and performance. This song is dripping in personality, at once bombastic and off the wall, and then suddenly subtle. These breakdowns where we sit so close to his syllables we can hear the shape of them are far and away my favorite parts of this release. I also love the deliberate breathing in the refrain, how there's air shot between every word. The fanfare and Coliseum packed into the latter sections, the horn-rung chorus, and Agust's incredible anger made this one of my necessities for getting through 2020. When it comes to Black Eyed Peas song, there is no better track record for synth and color pop, except for maybe JYP himself. So Bad clearly chose to fight one battle really well and hits that addictive quality with stride. It's really not too interested in combining dozens of elements or creating a totally unique sound, but rather doing one thing so well you can't get it out of your mind, and that's a very smart choice for a debut like this. Having about 4 hooks in its chorus, alongside dozens of smaller, catchy strains in the verses and pre-chorus, you can drop yourself into any section of So Bad and find an earworm. The 8-bit bite to the production and the pops of repeating syllables every few seconds give it that perfect debut spark to an already gorgeous retro package. This list would not be complete without Nature's Girls. I listed it as one of my top songs of the summer, and between now and then it's only grown more apparent that it's one of my favorites this year. This song is relatively simple and close to the bone, but there's a deliberate attempt at being disturbing that I really admire. The music leaks in and out of the song to great effect, and while the actual hook is a bit limp-fisted, the overall dynamic of the song is stellar. Just a very simple, I'm a child in front of love, and the chanting of unseen children under the bridge. It's strange, because I always leave this song in a bit of a funk. It kind of crawls around under my skin for a few hours after listening to it, so while I love it and I want to listen to it all the time, it's one of those songs that's best locked up in the walls of the house for some unfortunate guest to stumble upon. Vocal performance alone can absolutely land a song on this list. I feel that some people would brush this song off as something rather unexciting, but I fell hard for Plant upon its release. Sejeong can sing, there's no doubt about it, but it's the way she also performs with emotion at every stage of this song. The shake of her voice, the whisper of her breath, the soft way she forms her words, she pours her heart out every chorus, and the emotionality of this song is breathtaking. The instruments slowly wake up within the song, first the piano, then the violin, then the guitar. This song has a healing touch that makes me listen to it regularly. It makes me feel small and sometimes a little scared, but it also makes me feel better.
Oh yeah.
This is the most 60 frames per second video to ever be filmed in 24 frames per second. I don't know how to explain that, just take it as it is. Taemin is not only tonally distinct in his artistry, but also incredibly consistent with the quality of his releases. There's a perfectionist quality to a song like Criminal, and lines that would be cheesy with anyone else work for Taemin because he has the genuine sensuality to understand what he's singing. His flirtation with casual bondage in K-pop is both appreciated and startlingly attractive. This song is about BDSM, there's no two ways around it. Yes, it's about a relationship, blah blah blah, but it's about BDSM in all of its imagery. Criminal's got this energy that's more blood than bone, and Taemin's music is brilliant at translating tactile feelings to sound. My heart is an open wound already full of your fingertips. My hands holding yours which stabbed me aren't clean either. Hands are a form of eroticism that is largely ignored by K-pop, but when it comes to Taemin, I'm pleasantly surprised. Suffocation and pleasure, masculinity and femininity, kinetic and static. Criminal has a velvet glove in each box and a sinister satisfaction underneath it all. Consider this less as one chosen GFriend song and more the standing place for GFriend's 2020 Masterpiece Collection, Apple, Crossroads, Labyrinth, the Golden B-side. Every release of theirs this year has been a favorite of mine, but if I had to pick just one to represent the bunch, it's gotta be the one where Sohan rips her shirt off. Mago has this simmer to it, this kind of warm just on the edge of hot. Of the disco flashbacks we've seen this year, Mago is the one with the most teeth. Instead of desperately trying to cram in some deeper inner meaning, Mago is much more interested in a love affair with the surface level, and it's fully aware of that. It's never afraid to ride that edge between 80s sex appeal and flat-out punch-drunk synthwave. Mago's casual disregard for that strange need for everything to mean something in favor of fantasy and magic is what makes this song one of the sexiest releases of the year. The microwaved sound of Unna's voice in that first chorus gets me so high, so fast, and it shows off what Mago does best: sparkles, pole dancing, and raising a glass to yourself.
Please set a one to scream. Please set a one to scream.
Some people were upset with me earlier this year for preferring Scream to Boca, so let me say, once and for all, Scream forever. Team Scream until the day I die. Scream may be the best Dreamcatcher song of all time. Okay, you and I is, really, really good. Anyway, but it is one of the best songs of Dreamcatcher's most successful years so far. Scream is cinematic and bold. I've been listening to their music for several years now, and Scream was just the right place to go for them. The electrified EDM and the satanic lyrics are backed by this 3-note melody on par with the Jaws theme. There is thunder and anger in this song that I've never heard from Dreamcatcher before, and angry Dreamcatcher is best Dreamcatcher. I have such a tremendous love for this song. When it comes to the 80s disco and glam rock concepts, there is something to La Di Da that feels passionate about the sound. La Di Da absolutely fulfills the promise of Everglow's debut, that there is still fun and creativity to be had in Girl Crush. La Di Da is cheeky and campy and completely happy with it, and that makes me happy. It's a heroin rush, and that sweeping synth is so simple yet so catchy. It's downright comic book. It reminded me why I enjoy K-pop choruses. La Di Da sticks out among the retro concepts this year because it just has so much love for the juiciest, most synthetic side of the 80s music. It sounds like smashing glass and digital downloads and wearing red lipstick while dropping to the floor. It is so honest about its desire to punch you in the fucking face, and I love it. In a genre as tumultuous as K-pop can be, there is nothing more exciting than a song that reminds me exactly why I love it.
I'm a villain. 왜 아닐 거라 생각해. 아주 못돼 먹은 작은 악마 같은 나인 걸 몰라. You're a villain. 왜 아닐 거라 생각해. 미처 몰랐던 악마가 아니야. 내 숨 쉬고 있어.
Villain has springs in its melody, and my favorite instrumental design this year, a cheeky piano, flirty strings, and the sweet swing of a jazz band all playing tag under Stella's songbird voice and sauced delivery. You can hear the French inspiration tucked in bunches under the skirt of the chorus and glazed over with saxophone and the thick, glossy sound of Stella's voice. The little bell dings and the finger snaps in the beat are only second to the rhythm Stella herself provides flawlessly. This woman has incredible vocal training. Perhaps best about Villain is the way Stella is unafraid to be something of a yokel. Villain is campy, tongue-in-cheek, and stuffed with hayseed, like any proper backwater devil that puts razors in cake. Stella's villain is a surprise in 2020, not unlike wasabi in your cupcake, but much sweeter and much better received. 10 out of 10, I love it. Like with GFriend, this is more the standing place for all of Tomorrow by Together in 2020, Eternally, Blue Hour, the entire Blue album. TXT owned 2020. I've been in love with them for a long time, and everything they did this year only served to reinforce that love. Ghosting is my favorite of their 2020 releases. It rests in that same category as Eternally and Nap of a Star regarding songs that sound so hopeful despite being so helpless. I love the emotional honesty in all of their pieces, the gradual exploration of helplessness and feeling powerless to your emotions. Ghosting is a song about abandonment and self-isolation, and yet very casual about it. The dreamy new gaze sound and the synth make the song both galactic and extraterrestrial, and as familiar as an old sweatshirt, and it harmonizes what TXT does best. The vocal performances in this song are distant and vulnerable, never too intrusive, almost whispered under the door, and they highlight that tone of anxiety and quiet, confused heartbreak in every line. You don't love me anymore, and I don't know why. I can't remember when we became strangers. If you aren't paying attention to A.C.E, what are you doing? Living your life, I can respect that, but may I recommend A.C.E while you're at it? This song really blew them into my radar, and by the time this era was over, I had added about 80% of their discography to my playlist. Favorite Boys is one of those perfect team songs where every single section is the best section, and I can't imagine being anything less than delighted to perform any verse or breakdown at any point in this song. Chan sets off the lightning, but it's Donghyun's perfect appeal to the rhythm that gets the song moving. Byungkwon and Wow trade what I can only describe as cool rhymes, but that's only an appetizer to that simple but stunning melody that Jun and Chan deliver in the pre-chorus. Now this is where most good K-pop songs fall short of being brilliant, a great build-up followed by a chorus that can't really top it. Favorite Boys is not a good song. Favorite Boys is a showstopper. Byungkwon asks us to hit him, and then like an absolute liar immediately punches you in the face with one of the most ambitious steamroller choruses I have ever heard. The group vocals go crazy over easily the most infectious slam beat all year, and just when you think it's over, you hit the good part, the sexiest melody that has ever been belted. There is no end to the surprises in Favorite Boys. There is no end to the good parts in Favorite Boys. Was this really released in September? Because this song is the perfect combination of unheard of and timeless. Boy groups, take notes. I ranked Naughty as my #1 song of the summer, so it can't go any lower than 5th out of the whole year. Absolutely addictive around every corner, Naughty is a song that does more than enough justice to its iconic dance sequence. Naughty is a tightly linked chain of hooks and grooves with an infectious backbeat. Moonshine and JQ alone are enough to tell you that the velvet skin of the song is going to keep pace with lightning-fast rhythms. It's also a relief to take a break from the persistent 80s haunt of 2020 and find a more 90s inspiration, that slight Madonna style peeking around the edges, and the snap of retro over top the loud feedback is more characteristic of dubstep. The only bug I've ever encountered in this song is the desperation with which my mind insists that the line ham and cheese is somehow present in the chorus. BTS loves a good strong mix of hip-hop and traditional Korean instruments, and while this song could stand out purely for its string riffs, it's the lyricism and delivery by the rap line that puts it so high on my list. While Suga starts the song off coy and controlled, the song becomes brutally furious once the guys get rolling. The delivery trades off cold and clinical and then throaty with grit, and the song skims between the high whine of feedback and strings and the rough concrete of the bass. For all that Ugh is polished off by low-cut timbre in the production, the song is easily identifiable by really clever lines of high frequency and the anger shoved back and forth by all three rappers before being shoved directly at the audience. With all the appropriate fine-tuning that comes with being the most popular band in the world, I'm forever grateful that BTS never forgot how to be angry. While Twice have explored gradually darker tones all year, a song about deeply internalized guilt and intrusive thoughts was still somewhat unexpected from the nation's girl group. I Can't Stop Me is an undeniable smash, but Up No More cemented Twice in my top 3 this year. The vivid, painful descriptions of obsessive thoughts and inescapable guilt follow the members' voices down dark hallways and alleyways, and it's played with conscious contrast to that upbeat, hot pink bounce of the music, the plastic sound of a classic 90s Japanese hit, and the isolation and self-deprecation experienced by the speaker partner in delicious oxymoron. Jihyo's writing is far and away my favorite in Twice, and she strikes the perfect balance between a catchy hook and Macbeth shall sleep no more. So What is one of the defining songs of the year. This is one of my favorite K-pop songs of all time. For all that So What is a rumbling, fire-powered engine, you have these exquisite vocal performances laced through the bridge and the pre-chorus, all these fast-paced syllables held right at the front of the mouth, the rolling b-b-bad, the vocal layering, it's all larger than life. I love the rubble in the chorus, that gritty, dirty bass, all the cogs moving in this urban dance machine. I love the way So What is anthemic and festive and heroic, but never too far away from the audience. I find it addictive and satisfying in equal measure, and I can turn it on and let it roll about 9 times in a row without a single regret. It's a stunner and one of Luna's god-tier songs.
주위를 둘러봐 어디 봐도 나잖아 I like it 더 붙이자 아직 이러잖아 자 일어나 one more time 다시 아침이야 오늘은 나야 해 가보자고 one more night 이 끝에 뭐가 있을지 몰라 해 물론 왜 너를 만질수록 웃고 있는 건지 사라졌던 너의 진짜를 보여줘
Yes, I can't think of a song more fitting for my song of the year than the one that chants, "Come on up, bring the pain." BTS has never failed to be less than blood honest about their music, and On is one of the champion anthems of 2020. The marching band sound of drums, horn, and choir give this song an incredibly human, handmade quality. The lyricism of On easily marks it out as one of BTS's greats. On devotes its lyrics to uncertainty, fear, internal struggle, and personal loss, and brings the speaker on a journey from self-hatred to self-acceptance. Is it the shadow that's shaking, or is it my feet that are trembling? Even if I fall, I come right up and scream. That's how we've always been. Bring it, bring the pain. Even as it feels that there are people popping out of the woodwork to talk about how disenchanted they are with BTS's current music, BTS have only found new ways to continue to be vulnerable and open. The reason it's number one is also because it's the song with the most amount of personal meaning to me. This has truly been one of the sickest years of my life, and I've had to put this channel on hiatus no less than 4 times while dealing with my body. And I can say without a doubt, there is no song that has made me try harder in 2020 than On. Whenever I was switched to a new medication, whenever I had my blood drawn, whenever I spoke to a doctor and got the same bad news, I set my jaw and I played this song. So, okay, On isn't the song that's going to break apart the earth and raise Beethoven from the grave, but for me, it's the soundtrack to my recovery process and the soundtrack to the work to getting better. And that alone makes it my song of the year. Last time I ended a video like this with, I hope the next year will be great, it ended up being the worst year in recent history, so we're not going to do that this time. I'm just going to say that I love you guys, and I want to hear the songs that brought you through 2020. I have 2 longer videos coming out soon. One is Twice, the other is Red Velvet. We'll see when those come out. Hopefully by the end of the month, but no promises. You guys know how I am. But I do love you. See you guys soon.